Today, thousands of students got up and either went to school or got on their computers to learn online. Many of these students will be given assignments to do at home or homework. Some of those assignments won't be completed nor turned in on time because of student busyness or a not comfortable place to do those homework and items. According to the National Center of Education, regular students spend 7 hours at school. Throughout the year, we spend about 1,260 hours or 180 days at school. This seems like plenty of time to do all of our curriculum without sending home homework. And I understand that this is all time management and getting things turned in on time is completely on you. But I think teachers also need to understand that we take up to 8 classes a day. Some of those are a little harder than others. For example, my Spanish teacher does understand that Spanish is a very important language and it's a curriculum that you have to take in high school. But she also understands that if my geometry test is tomorrow and I tell her that I spent 3 hours studying for geometry, that geometry is going to outweigh Spanish, especially in my life when I struggle with math. But I don't think some teachers understand that if every teacher assigns at least 30 minutes of homework, we have 2 to 3 hours of doing homework. And some of them just can't fit that into their schedule. I, as a student athlete, completely understand this. My schedule, very busy. I'm in multiple organizations, as you have to be in a small school, especially since athletes spend at least 10 to 12 hours of extra time at school, which includes practices, games, and traveling time. This is a lot. Getting home at 6:30 every day because of practices, or even later because of games, especially out-of-town games. I've gotten home at midnight on a Tuesday and had to get up at 6:30 the next morning. I understand that teachers have to be there too, and they have to go through this, and so do coaches, but I don't understand why they would put more homework on students, even the regular students, especially since we have to get up and be at school on such an early hour. I don't think they're understanding that not everybody has a safe place to do things like this. According to the Education Week, about 40% of U.S. secondary students are involved in some kind of extracurricular activity. Once again, I understand this. Our school is pretty small. It's a 3A division. And so we are all in something. All of the students are pretty much in something, because if not, then that organization might not even be an organization. I'm in multiple organizations, including athletics, student council, FFA, National Honor Society, and almost every student counts in those, because not every organization has enough people, and so every student has to be in something for those to come. Other examples of extracurriculars are performing arts, music, band, show choir, twirling, cheerleading. Those are all extracurriculars that take time, they take effort, they take money, they take practice. And they can't get better and we can't do good things in those because we have 2 to 3 hours of homework. I used to be in band and I had to practice my flute all the time. And if I didn't, then I didn't get better. But I still made time for it because I still had to push that and narrow that down so that I could do my homework. And it was just cutting out of things that I wanted to do. I wanted to be in band and I wanted to do this, but I couldn't because I didn't have time. The American Psychology Association has recently conducted a study that said up to 81% of teenagers, 13 to 17-year-olds, have experienced higher stress levels since the pandemic started. Many students are stressed all the time. They're stressed enough with tests and teachers giving them 9 weeks exams and STAR tests, and teachers are stressed as well, I understand that. But students are pressuring themselves to be the best that they can be, trying to get into their dream colleges, trying to do their dream jobs, reach their goals. And with the pandemic, it has already added on to that because you're learning online and you're teaching yourself pretty much, unless your teachers are helpful like mine are. But if they're not, then you're teaching yourself. And so getting that done is stressful. Plus, the social anxiety, once again, once you go back into like your normal routine or what your routine was normally, and trying not to get sick and being careful and wiping down everything you touch so you don't get anyone else sick and so you don't get sick. The study has identified 3 reoccurring things: social isolation, which was 8.5%, lack of support of mental well-being, 12.3%, and stress due to homework, 13.2%. These are all major problems to students now, which wouldn't have been a problem to students in, say, the 2000s, because they go to school every day. They got to see their friends every day. They got to communicate with them normally without over text or over phone. They got to just talk to them, which now some students don't even get to do that. I know we were on quarantine at the ending of 2020, and I never saw most of my friends for about 6 months. I'd have to text them, or I'd have to call them, I'd FaceTime them, but it still wasn't the same. It's still not that social aspect, especially for some of the littler kids that are just now learning to go, that are just starting school. If I was in pre-K and I was just starting and we had to wear masks and we had to be so far away, I would never make friends. I'm very loud, I'm a very energetic person, so if I couldn't smile at someone until they were smiling back at me, that would be very hard for me on so many levels. This is just a reoccurring problem. I don't think teachers understand how stressed we are from the pandemic and like the reoccurring delta, or should I wear my mask? Should I be worried to stand too close to this person? I don't think it's more of a problem for high school students, but even then, homework is still putting stress on them, along with all of this stress that is already there. It's just adding to it. These are just some of the many reasons homework shouldn't be a requirement in schools. Tons of stress and mental health could be saved because of one less teacher who assigns homework. Thank you.